Gabrielle Dennis. I'm originally born in Cincinnati, Ohio. I live in Los Angeles now and moved here from the Washington, D.C., Maryland area.
And what is it that you do, Miss Gabrielle?
I do a little bit of everything. But right now, since I've been in LA, I've been focusing on my stand-up comedy and trying to get my acting career off the ground and doing a bit of singing. Right now, I've been doing a lot of stand-up around LA. Working with Damon Wayans right now on a new show on Showtime. It's called The Underground. And it's basically a new sketch comedy show. So it's Damon and his son and a whole bunch of other really, really talented actors and actresses. So I'm looking forward to that coming out this end of this year on Showtime. So we got picked up for 10 episodes, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Is that a fall 2000?
September? Yeah.
September? Okay.
Yeah. So we'll start filming pretty soon, and it'll kick off in September. And other than that, I do a little singing on the side, and just performing with a group called Assorted Flavors. And Elise Neal, an actress that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. It's her group. She helps produce it and puts it together, and we just had a lot of fun. We perform here and there, everywhere, and just been having a lot of fun with that. We're actually doing a show on ESPN in February for the Legacy Awards, for the Major League Basketball Legacy Awards, for the Negro League, actually. And it was a really cool experience. And other than that, I'm just trying to keep busy. I mean, everything's a hustle, and I basically don't. I'm like really tired right now, but that's a good tired, because I'm tired from being out and doing what I really like to do, and that's just performing to entertain. So I have a lot of fun doing it.
Okay, so you actually majored in performing arts for college.
Yeah, I went to a performing arts high school in Cincinnati called School for Creative and Performing Arts, also known as SCPA. And kids used to tease us that didn't go to our school, call it the SPCA, like for the dogs and the animals in the shelter. It's okay. Yeah, so I majored in dance, drama, and music theater. And my sister went there. A lot of my cousins went there. A lot of people in soaps that you all might recognize. Nick and Drew Lachey went there. Sarah Jessica Parker graduated from my high school. So it put out a lot of nice, polished folks, you know. It was definitely a fun experience, because it was literally like the movie Fame. Like, the school was just so bananas. It was just like, you know, your music department, your dance department, and you just see people like entertaining and performing everywhere. And I was always in like the big school productions and had a lot of fun. So I missed it. But 11th and 12th grade year, I went to a different high school. Went to a communication school where I majored in TV production, and that's kind of how I got into the whole hosting thing. And I hosted my own show called Cincinnati Youth Times. Got experience from that, and I loved it. It was something to fall back on, quote unquote, as my mother wanted me to do. And I took that to college. I went to Howard University, and I chose to go to Howard. I had an actual scholarship to Ohio State, but I turned that down to go to Howard because I really wanted to go to HBC, and had a lot of fun. Did the BET thing there, the Teen Summit, and from there I worked on Mad Flavor. You know, got a lot of my hosting experience and expertise. Then I came out here to LA, and I was hosting a show called Ballin'. It was a street basketball show on a network called LTN. And that was before, I think, the network just got canceled. So, yeah, the Damon Wayans show came just in about the nick of time. So it's all good.
So what actually brought you to LA? Because you sound like you have a long history in performing arts. So it's not like you needed to come here to get experience in doing what it is you love, because you have that experience. But what actually drove you to move from where you were to LA?
It was just time to, like, take it to the next level. I felt like I did the high school, the plays, I did a lot of theater, I did a lot of independent films. It was time to really take it to the next level, because I was finding that even though I had really great jobs growing up and being a young adult, you know, I worked at restaurants, managed restaurants and things like that, but I found that I never was finding something that made me happy, and I knew that it was because my passion was in front of the camera and not necessarily behind the camera. I did a lot behind the camera, from makeup to producing, directing, and writing. But my love and true passion is definitely in front of the camera. So it was like, let me go back to my roots, but let's make it a legitimate move and take it to the next level, make a career out of it. And what a better place than Los Angeles to do that. And it would have been New York, but LA won over because of the weather. So,
so what is your ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal is to have my own sitcom. which is why I really got into the stand-up comedy thing, because I figure it's another route to get in, and it's hard for Black Hollywood as is. It's hard for women, even harder, you know. And I figure if I found a niche that really works for me, and it's something that I've always wanted to do in Los Angeles, you know, there's no excuse for me to not have tried it, because there are outlets here. In Cincinnati, I didn't have those type of outlets, you know, growing up. And when I was in D.C., I was in school and working full time, so I really didn't have the time to focus on that. So I finally stepped out there, took that leap. I did the Pauly Shore's Mine in the Store show. Just showed up to the audition and just kind of and ripped it. So I was like, you know, it's definitely something I felt comfortable, because it is still performing. And the stage is like so comfortable to me. I mean, it's just like, I love it. So I would love to have my own sitcom and follow in the footsteps of the Bernie Macs and the Martin Lawrences and, you know, other comedians that have paved the way, like Damon Wayans and things like that, who've had a sitcom success and have really good shows and spin off from that. Even the female comedians.
I was going to ask, which ones do you?
Yeah, Monique and Wanda Sykes also had their own TV show. Being happy, making a career where I can have my family around me, because all my loved ones and supporters are not here with me, so it's a little harder. But once I start making bread and making a career and a comfortable lifestyle for myself, I could bring them on out here. You know, I'm going to get 4, 5, 7 bedrooms, whatever. Everybody just come chill, and it'll be good to just have my family and the people that I know I can trust and who have got my back, to just all be in the same cities. Mainly my mom, my sister, and my little niece. Come on, I love her. She just turned 3 yesterday.
So what is the one thing, or myth rather, that you learned to actually be true when you first moved to LA? And what I'm asking is, there are all kind of myths that people have about LA. What is the one thing that you found out is actually not a myth, that is actually true? Something that since you've moved here that you found out, it could be a good one or it could be a bad truth.
I find that, you know, a lot of people say, you know, there's a lot of beautiful women in Los Angeles. There's a lot of people that are really, it's really hard. LA's not a town for relationships. And I do find that, see how that can be very difficult. There's a lot of beautiful people out here. There's a lot of shallow individuals. And there's a lot of people out here grabbing and picking at the same thing. They're all after the same goal. So it's kind of hard to really focus on something that's cherished as being in love. So for those of y'all that got y'all man and y'all woman before y'all came to LA, kudos. Good luck with that. Hope they don't, you know, slip into the depths. But yeah, it's definitely not, it's not a city that really, you know, with open arms embraces relationships. And I think the true meaning of love, because everybody here is so focused and goal oriented on their careers and whatnot. Okay. So it's kind of hard to focus on other things if it wasn't established before you got here. So
okay. And what is the one piece of advice that you would give someone that is looking to jump out there and move to LA, that is looking to follow their dream? What advice would you give them?
Do it. Don't hesitate. Don't stop and think about it. It's like immediately, once you made a decision and you decided what it is that you want when you come here, go. Don't stop. Don't ponder it. Make that decision and just go, because a lot of times people hesitate. I know it took me a little longer than I would have wanted to come here, but it's like, you know, once I made the decision, I'm like, just go. You know, you want to save money, you want to have a job secure before you come here, just get here. That's half the battle. I mean, because once you're here, you're amongst what you need to be amongst. And just like back home, wherever you may be from, you'll find a job, you find a place to stay, you know. And because LA's so used to a flood of people coming in and out, you always find people looking out to rent out a room or whatever the situation. Just get here, because that's the first step. It's like, if you're not here, you're just back home, wherever it is, thinking about what you could do. You could actually be here making it happen. And I'm a strong believer. Once you make that decision and it's final, go with it, flow with it, let it go out your mind, and just move on. Just move on from it, definitely. My motto is never stop. Never stop dreaming. Never stop moving. I feel like I'm the ultimate hustler. Like this, I'm always on the move, always on the grind, because I figure a lot of people tease me like, you do so much. It's like you just throw paint on the wall, whatever dries first is what happens. And it's like, truly, that's how it is, because I figure like the second I stop, the second I'm not doing something, that I miss an audition, or I miss submitting myself on something, or I miss going to a class or training myself, I'm giving somebody my spot. That should be mine. Because I feel like when it comes to something that I feel that I know how to do and I'm good and capable at it, nobody can shine as much as I can in my own mind. So I got to go after it and just don't stop dreaming. Just hustle. Just got to be a hustle, because you're your number one agent, you're your number one manager, you're your number one representation. So that's what it's all about, is just you got to just have you number one. Number one, definitely.